mean, she, to be honest with you, man, she's a
bad things, fine as hell, thick as fuck, oh my god, that's my baby, Caroline.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Caroline, back again with another wig install. Today I'm going to be giving you guys a super melted, no lifting, detailed glueless closure install, and just kind of show you guys how I use this ebon lace spray for my glueless installs. Honestly, all my installs are glueless. I do not believe in using glue. Well, better yet, I am not good at using glue. I'm better at doing glueless installs, and it's safer on my edges, and I can remove it and switch my wigs however I please. But I'm going to be installing this wig from BMG Black Girl Magic Hair. This is their Kinky straight wig, and this texture, 10 out of 10. Recommend, and it is their HD lace wig, which is perfect for showing you how to get the most melted install. But let's get right into today's video. The first thing I am doing is I'm using my Maybelline Fit Me foundation to just tint the lace of the wig so I can get a perfect match to my skin tone. I'm using the shade 345, I believe, and I just buff that in with a standard makeup brush. As far as bald cap versus no bald cap, I don't do bald caps. I just wear wig caps to protect my braids from getting caught in the clips. But I do make sure I push my wig cap to the back of my hairline so that way the color is not showing under my lace. You get? Once I have my lace nice and tinted and the wig is nice and on my head, I can go ahead and proceed to just cutting around my ear tabs to make sure I get a perfect fit around my head. And what I do for this is I really just get a comb and just try to draw around my ear and just part out that excess lace that's covering my ear. Before I start my lace laying process, I like to cut my lace into sections, and I also spray in sections. Doing this kind of just makes it easier to work with. Also, it helps me make sure that I am getting every piece of lace that needs to be sprayed down to help prevent, lifting. And now I can get into showing you guys how I use this Ebon Wonder Lace spray for glueless installs. For my side section, sometimes I have to cut the lace into a smaller piece just to make it even more precise and more detailed so I can get it to stick a lot better, because my sides don't stick that easy sometimes. Now when it comes to the spray, I try to spray as close to the front of the hairline as possible, and I use my fingers to get a nice and even distribution of that product. This way it's not going to get so cakey and built up in one area. I'm also pulling down my lace to kind of help me work as an anchor. Once I got an even distribution spray going on, I go in with my blow dryer on a cool heat setting. Cool is the keyword here because I realized since this is a fast drying lace, using a very hot setting causes the lace to dry way too fast, which will cause it to get too sticky too fast, and it just becomes too hard to work with. So using it on a cool setting and using my comb to help push that lace and everything in to get it nice and flat really gets it to stick. I usually use a blow dryer on each section for about 10 to 15-ish seconds. Sometimes it won't stick automatically on your first try. Like you'll see here, I'm about to go ahead with my cuticle scissors and try to cut off this section of lace. And I noticed that it was lifting just a bit, but the lace is still tacky because it hasn't dried down all the way yet because I'm using a cool setting. And what I do if it's not sticking at the first attempt, before I go in and have to spray more spray, I just try to use my rat tail comb to keep pushing that lace into the tackiness of the glue or spray, and then to help me really get my hair and lace pulled down well, I will go ahead and pull out my side baby hairs right here, and I'll pull that and just push everything down, and eventually it will stick. If it doesn't stick by then, I just go ahead and repeat the steps, and I will spray again to get it to stick. But I've realized using too much of the spray does cause it to get a very white residue, and it just makes everything really hard to work with, you know. Now I'm going to go ahead and repeat these steps over the rest of my hair. Another tip I would say is when you're spraying the ebon lace spray, I try to make sure I'm spraying more on the lace and less on the hair. And this is just to kind of help the hair from getting super crunchy and hard from the spray. Sometimes if my hand is able to do this while I am using my blow dryer to dry down the glue or spray, I sometimes will gently comb out this product while I'm doing this process. This does kind of help with the crunchiness and the hardness of the hair. But honestly, it's inevitable because it's still going to get on the actual hair itself, but I usually am able to just gently comb out the crunchiness in the hair, or at the worst I can just use a little bit of water or a little bit of mousse to help break down, you know, that crunchiness. And I think I will be able to show you guys an example of how I do deal with like my hair getting hard from the spray in these later clips. Okay, now that I have gone through the whole lace and I have sprayed and cut everything off, I do get some minor lifting here and there. And what I do is that I go ahead and spray my rat tail comb, the comb itself, with the ebon spray, and I just use this and place it over the areas that are lifting, and this just really helps to make sure everything is successfully nice and pushed down. And before I proceed to doing my baby hairs, I go in with my elastic band and just lay down my lace, and I let it sit for probably minimum 10 minutes just to make sure everything is dry and stuck before I proceed to swoop my baby hairs, because swooping your baby hairs while your lace is lifting is honestly a struggle of its own. Sometimes I will get a bit of a white residue, as you can probably see a little bit right here, and that's really easy to fix. I usually say that for last. I can go in with some water and just wipe that off. That's one thing I love about this ebon spray, is that literally any mistake or anything that's wrong with it, a little bit of water takes it off real easy, unlike actual lace glue where I gotta use alcohol. It's a whole thing to clean up. But now I'm just going in and I'm doing my baby hairs. And for my baby hairs, I used a little bit of that ebon lace spray, as you saw earlier, to just kind of help my baby hairs lay down. As I'm pulling out the hairs that I want to use for my baby hairs, sometimes the hair will get hard, as you'll see on this side right here. I'm having a hard time pulling the hair down, and what I do is I literally just try to be as gentle as possible to not rip out my hair, and just gently comb out that ebon spray and break out the cast from the hairspray, and boom bam, it is, you know, ready to use. Once I've pulled out enough hair to my satisfaction, I'm just going in with my mini flat iron, and I'm just trying to slightly curl the hairs upward. to help, you know, the swooping be a little bit easier. And once I've curled the hair, I use this what's it called, razor comb, to just cut right at the curl. That's kind of how I tell how short I want my hairs to be. So I cut right at where the hair is curled, and I try to cut in like a layered, tapered effect kind of way, so it's shorter up the front and it's longer as it swoops back into the hair. So I'm not cutting straight across. Do not cut your baby hair straight across. Trust me, it looks weird and janky. You want to go for a layered, tapered type of cut. Here I'm using my Eco Styling gel to help me lay them down, and I just kind of use a combination of my finger and the comb and the brush. Like all three is what I'm using to help me swoop these hairs. I feel like with baby hairs, it's kind of hard to like explain with my mouth how I do it. It's more of a visual thing, and plus the more you do it, the more you just look at a inspiration photo. I'm always looking at what kind of baby hairs I'm going for when I do them, and I just try to like visually follow what I see on that photo that I'm looking at, if that makes sense. So if you're watching me, just kind of like do your baby hairs with me as I'm doing them right now, and just try to like follow along what I'm doing with my fingers and my hands, and trust me, eventually it'll make sense, because I am so bad at explaining verbally, but I hope that makes sense a little bit. So I'm just gonna go ahead and finish off doing the rest of these baby hairs. Like this hair, it was literally just laying the lace, baby hairs, and that's it. I didn't do any styling or any parting with this hair because I felt like I just like this look. The way it was in this natural hair state was just giving me natural vibes. I fuck with it heavy, you know what I'm saying? And this lace was very laid. Like, ooh, I don't know if because it was HD lace or because of my bomb lace laying skills. Maybe it's both. But this lace was laid, okay? Now that I'm done laying down my baby hairs, I put my elastic band back on. Here I'm just using my tweezers to pick up all the little hairs that got stuck to the glue and stuff, to just clean up everything while the lace is laying. And here we are with the finished look. This was such a simple install, but just so good. Like, ooh, y'all see, you see her. Lifting wear, we don't know her. And typically for me, these glueless installs, I take them off at night, but they can last me about 2 to 3 days if I'm doing the maintenance to keep the wig. And I'm gonna show you guys how I actually remove my installs. So literally all I'm doing is I'm just spraying some water on top of my lace, and I'm just gonna let the water soak in a little bit, give it a moment, and just like that, the wig comes off really easy. No edges were lost in the making of this video, okay? It comes off just like that, which is why I do say this is not this is not waterproof, but it is water resistant because I can wear it in the shower if I'm maintaining, you know, the lace. Here's a look at the finished product of the hair. I want to show you guys just like the hair itself in its full length and beauty. Hope this video was helpful and useful to you guys, and I hope to see you in another one. If you found it helpful, comment down below, and see you in another one. Peace out, Girl Scouts. Goodbye. Oh, it looks so cute.